Good morning, and if you're stepping outside anywhere in England or Wales today, here is a number that should make you stop and think. The UV index across southern Britain is sitting at level 8, that's classified as very high by the UK Health Security Agency, and it means unprotected skin can begin to burn in as little as 15 minutes at midday. It is Monday the 13th of July, 2026, and the Met Office has issued a heat health alert covering a broad swathe of the country, from the West Midlands all the way down through the southeast and into the southwest. Temperatures in London are forecast to peak at around 33 degrees Celsius this afternoon, that is roughly 10 degrees above the average maximum for mid-July, and places today firmly in heatwave territory by the official UK definition. If you have any travel plans, any outdoor commitments, or simply need to get from A to B today, this video is the one you need to watch before you leave the house. Let's get specific, because the weather picture today is not uniform across the four nations. London and the southeast are bearing the brunt, with afternoon highs of 32 to 34 degrees Celsius expected between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. Bristol and Cardiff are close behind at around 30 to 31 degrees. Moving further north, Birmingham is tracking towards 28 degrees, while Manchester and Leeds are sitting in the mid-20s, warm by northern standards, but more manageable. Edinburgh and Glasgow are the relative winners today, with temperatures in the low 20s and a fresh southwesterly breeze providing some relief. Northern Ireland, particularly Belfast, can expect around 23 degrees with partial cloud cover arriving by late afternoon. The key point for travellers is that humidity levels in the southeast are elevated, hovering around 65%, which will make the heat feel considerably more oppressive than the raw number suggests. Heat index calculations place that feels like temperature in central London at close to 37 degrees at peak. That is a significant physiological stress, particularly for older passengers using public transport. To understand why today is so extreme, you need to look at what has been building over the past week. A large, slow-moving area of high pressure, a so-called blocking anticyclone, has been anchored over the near continent since approximately the 8th of July, drawing hot air from North Africa and the Iberian Peninsula northward into the British Isles. This is the same broad pattern that has been generating dangerous heat across Asia, reshaping travel plans for tourists from Tokyo to Istanbul, and contributing to the extreme conditions that have already affected spectators at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. In the UK context, this anticyclone has suppressed the usual Atlantic westerlies that typically keep our summers mild and wet. The result is a dry, still, and increasingly hot sequence of days, with today representing the peak intensity before a frontal system pushes in from the Atlantic on Wednesday. The good news is that relief is coming. The less good news is that today is the hottest day of this current spell. Heat is not just a health issue, it is a serious infrastructure issue, and today that reality is being felt across the UK transport network. Network Rail has issued speed restrictions on several key routes where track temperatures are forecast to exceed the safety threshold of 46 degrees Celsius. Affected routes include the East Coast Main Line between Peterborough and London King's Cross, sections of the West Coast Main Line south of Crewe, and routes in and out of London Waterloo. These restrictions reduce train speeds from the normal 125 miles per hour to around 60 miles per hour, adding anywhere between 20 and 45 minutes to journey times. Passengers are strongly advised to check National Rail's real-time updates before travelling and to build in extra time. On the roads, the RAC is forecasting an elevated breakdown rate today, with tyres and cooling systems under particular strain on the M25, M1, and M4 corridors. If you are driving, check your tire pressure and coolant levels before setting off. Overinflated tires on hot tarmac are a genuine blowout risk. At major airports, Heathrow and Gatwick are both operating normally as of this morning, though ground crew are working under heat protocols, which may introduce minor delays to turnaround times. The UK Health Security Agency has activated its Amber Heat Health Alert today, which represents a specific call to action for health and social care services. Historically, days with sustained temperatures above 30 degrees Celsius in the UK see a measurable increase in heat-related hospital admissions, particularly among people over 65, young children, and those with cardiovascular or respiratory conditions. With a UV index of 8 across the south today, the advice from dermatologists is clear: apply SPF 30 or higher sunscreen at least 30 minutes before going outdoors, reapply every 2 hours, wear a wide-brimmed hat, and avoid direct sun exposure between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. if at all possible. Stay hydrated. The NHS recommends increasing fluid intake to at least 2 to 2.5 litres of water today, more if you are physically active. Do not wait until you feel thirsty. Thirst is already a sign of mild dehydration. For pet owners, remember that pavements in direct sun today can reach surface temperatures of up to 60 degrees Celsius, enough to cause paw burns in under a minute. The 7-second test applies. If you cannot hold the back of your hand to the pavement for 7 seconds, it is too hot for your dog to walk on. If you have flexibility in your plans today and want to make the most of the sunshine while avoiding the worst of the heat, here is how to think about it. Coastal destinations are your best option. Sea breezes along the North Yorkshire coast around Whitby and Scarborough, as well as along the Cornish coastline between Street Ives and Newquay, will keep actual felt temperatures 4 to 6 degrees cooler than inland equivalents. The Peak District and Scottish Highlands also offer higher elevations where temperatures drop naturally. Conversely, the worst places to be today are urban heat islands. Central London, central Birmingham, and central Manchester will all trap heat between buildings and on concrete surfaces, pushing local temperatures significantly above the surrounding countryside. If you must be in a city centre, plan your movement early morning before 10 a.m. or after 6 p.m. Indoor attractions such as the British Museum, the Natural History Museum, and the Victoria and Albert Museum in London are air-conditioned and make excellent midday retreats, and crucially, entry to all three is free. Today is the peak. By Tuesday the 14th of July, the blocking high begins to weaken slightly as the Atlantic front approaches from the west, with temperatures in the southeast easing back towards 28 to 29 degrees, still warm, but markedly more comfortable. Wednesday the 15th brings the clearest change. A band of thunderstorms is expected to push across Wales, northern England, and the Midlands through the afternoon and evening, bringing the temperature down sharply by Thursday. The Met Office has issued a yellow thunderstorm warning for parts of Wales and northern England on Wednesday, with localized rainfall totals of 20 to 30 millimeters possible within a short period, raising flash flood risks in low-lying areas and urban streets where drainage infrastructure is under pressure. By the end of the week, the whole of the UK should be back to more typical July conditions, temperatures in the low to mid-20s, a mix of sunshine and cloud, and the Atlantic influence restored. The weekend of the 18th and 19th of July currently looks settled and pleasant, ideal if you are planning a late getaway. Let's wrap this up with what you actually need to do today. Number 1. If you are traveling by train on any of the affected routes, East Coast Main Line, West Coast Main Line south of Crewe, or routes into Waterloo, check National Rail before you leave and add at least 30 to 45 minutes to your planned journey time. Number 2. If you are driving, check tires and coolant before setting off, carry extra water in the car, and never leave children or pets unattended inside a parked vehicle even for a minute. Temperatures inside a parked car in today's conditions can hit 50 degrees within 10 minutes. Number 3. Apply high-factor sunscreen, drink water consistently throughout the day, and keep vulnerable relatives and neighbors in mind. A quick phone call or doorstep check-in could make a real difference for someone who is elderly or unwell. Number 4. If you are traveling for leisure, prioritize coastal destinations or early morning city visits, and use free indoor attractions as midday sanctuaries. And number 5, stay tuned for Wednesday's thunderstorm warning if you have travel plans midweek. That is where the next significant weather risk sits. That is your complete picture for Monday the 13th of July, 2026. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and travel smart.